Hi guys, welcome to the Island Renaissance podcast with me, Suresh De Silva. I have with me a special guest today. She's a colleague, she's a dear friend, and an inspiration. She has over 15 years of experience in marketing, event management, and PR. She's the founder of the Good PR, RSVP, and the Island Dancer. I give you, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Nevindee Amarasinghe.
Hi, Suresh.
Hi.
That was a nice introduction. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. Really appreciate that.
Pleasure. So let's cut to the chase. First of all, how are you doing these days? How is business these days? And what's new?
I would say business is great and meeting a lot of new clients, new people. We have a new team now. And yeah, so business is great. I'm doing well. It's a little bit stressful these days, as I discussed with you just before the podcast. Stress is anyways hitting all of us as entrepreneurs. But that's life, isn't it?
Yeah, that's how we know we're doing something right, no? When the stress hits at different levels. So you cater to both overseas and local clients.
Yeah.
So this is not specifically just PR. You're talking about event management and you're also talking about marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So would you like to explain what it is that you do for those who might not understand? And also if you could mention how these things are sort of interlinked or correlated and connected to each other.
Right. So we specialized in PR. When it comes to my expertise, I cater to the public relations sector and the event management sector. So events and PR, they go together, even though the clients say, okay, the whole PR scope does not act along with events. It does go together because let's say, for example, you have a client and you get a client for PR only, but the client has a requirement for an event. Then we still can cater. That is a specialty, and that's kind of the expertise we have within the organization. And for instance, if you take PR, public relations, there are events, activations, and activities happening within the scope. For example, press conferences. People don't really understand there is an event management angle to it. Yeah, so you need to know your event management expertise, or rather experience, to put that into the whole press conference. So it's like that, yeah.
So you've been doing this for over 15 years. What drew you to PR and event management and marketing? What was your calling?
Yeah, I would say the whole reputation game. It is a reputation game, and especially the rapport that I have with the people. Like, for example, if I talk to a client, I know probably the client might be not the best person to, talk with at the first point, but, you build your rapport and you talk to them for some time, and then you have some kind of a relationship where client-supply relationship, right? And then I kind of felt like, okay, I'm good at talking. I'm good at getting things done, convincing people. I'm a marketeer myself as well. And then I thought, okay, why not do this on my own? Because I've been doing this for some time and working under people, and kind of, I know the first thought was like, it was like, hitting my head, will I not get paid like every month? I'm not getting a salary. That was the first thing, right? Because I was also studying, and then, starting the company is a big thing. It's not a small thing. Like, you can't just open an Instagram page and call yourself an entrepreneur. That is not an entrepreneurial thing, right? You can't call yourself a self-made person if you just go on Instagram. So I did my research. It was a bad time for the country as well, but I still went ahead with 38,000 rupees in my hand. This is what I say in all of my interviews, because this is the truth, right? So 38,000 in my hand. I registered the company and I got a logo done. I did not pay for the logo at that time. I told my friend, let me get my first job and then pay you for the logo. So Sali, my friend, he got the logo done for me. And then I made the logo and I came up with good PR. That's how it started, and I built a small team at the beginning, and it is still small. And I believe in, like starting small from scratch.
Where were you before you decided to start Good PR? Like you said, you have worked under others and for others, like I have. And even myself, I mean, you might know this. I was in advertising for 17 plus years.
Definitely.
I started off as a junior copywriter, built my professional trajectory up as a senior copywriter / creative writer, then started delving into marketing, the business development side. And my last stint, I think, was where I was the head of creative production and design in one of the biggest advertising agencies here in Sri Lanka at the time. And I left for personal reasons. But I'm sure we share a synergy of it syncs as to why we stopped working for other people.
Yeah.
So my reasons for that were quintessentially that I got sick and tired of making a lot of money for other people.
Yeah.
I disliked the lack of transparency.
Yeah.
I disliked the way the organizations, these businesses, were conducting business on the sly.
Correct.
Not just with the lack of transparency, but this whole commission-based system of how they went about getting things done.
Yeah.
Also the lack of punctuality when it came to promises and delivering stuff to clients.
Yeah.
And there was a lack of proficiency and professionalism. So I left the ad game of working for someone else. I wanted to be my own master, as you well know. We'll talk about like how we connected professionally in a little bit. But what were your reasons for wanting to leave? Because like you said, you're working somewhere. It's not your own thing.
Yeah.
You know you're getting a set salary.
Yeah.
You know there are organizational perks and you know there are benefits. You know that if something goes wrong, something goes awry, that you have something to fall back onto. And even for me, I was earning quite handsomely at that time. And people thought I was off my effing mind when I said I'm leaving to do my own thing. And they're like, you're getting like 6+ figures and, you know, you can leave and join another agency. And I was like, you know, the stress is not worth it. I don't mind having stress if it's your own thing, right? If it's your baby and you love what you do, that stress is justifiable.
It is.
To have depression and anxiety and levels of stress for someone else who doesn't find the value and appreciate what you do didn't make sense to me. But what was the reason? Because it's a super risk, right, when you do your own thing. And people don't understand that the entrepreneurial journey is a journey that, yes, is remarkable, but it's absolutely unremarkable in the start. It's a lot of starving, not being able to pay the bills, people not believing in you, people dismissing you, not taking you seriously. I went through that, so I know you did also. So talk about that experience a little bit, but first touch upon where you were initially and what drove you to leave and do your own.
So, like my first job was actually a foreign company. I was working as it's a multinational company. It was a big brand. It is a big brand. And I was working as an events coordinator. I was 16, 17 years old, just after school. And I was also studying at the same time. And then I kept getting experience while jumping into jobs where my CV did not look attractive. For sure, it did not, because I was going into another job, 3 months to another job. It didn't feel interesting for me, because one thing is I was working so much. I know I needed the money as well, because we are a middle class family, right? So I had to support myself for my own education, where I didn't want to ask my parents or support me, because I have 3 more siblings, and I wanted them to focus on them and support them. And then I started the job. So at that time, of course, I didn't realize that I had this whole entrepreneurship in me. But then a decade ago, I had a bunch of friends who were ready to help me do this whole events thing online, like consultation, and do it. It was called Sky Media Consultants. That was our first you can't call it a company because it was not registered, but it was a bunch of friends, videographers, photographers, graphic designers. We came together. A guy called Shehan from Nerding Out. Now he is an extremely talented, I think he's an engineer now. Shehan, I can't remember his name. He's a young guy. So he's the guy who pushed me to, Nevindee, start this. He called me, sis, why not you start this?
Yeah.
Then I was like, okay, let's do it. This was while working for another advertising company at the same time. So I was telling my boss, is it okay if I do this events thing online and, I will be doing this coordination part? They said, okay, it's not a conflict of interest. Go ahead and do it. But then we didn't have a contingency plan, or it was not a business model we thought about. I didn't have experience. It just faded away. It faded away in 3-4 months. We couldn't continue. We did a couple of gigs, but then we did not know a strategy, a roadmap as to how a business is done, how a cash flow is working. You just can't do business just like that. Now I realize that because I'm running my own company and I'm carrying my own water.
Yeah.
Right? I understand that. And then when I was working for all these companies, I realized, okay, all these companies, majority of them, I'm a female, right? I'm very active. I run around. I get things done very quickly, and I don't sit on jobs. I get it done. They liked it. But some of the companies felt very threatened by my presence also.
Why? Because you were a female entrepreneur, or just because you were a young entrepreneur?
Maybe before this whole entrepreneurship came into play, I was just working under their companies, right? Because
So people, you mean within the organization?
Within the organization, they were like, okay, I don't think her idea is great. I don't think we should take her ideas into consideration.
Right.
You just go on and, I tried giving ideas because certain things, I got advice from my father. He is an educated man. He understands when, I go to speak to him mostly because I go to him, father, daughter, we always have our chats. And then he's like, okay, you do it this way. You give them an idea of this manner. So I tried doing this. But then all these companies disappointed me no matter how much I gave, whether it's 100 to 100%. I didn't want to also leave because I thought, okay, I might not get a salary, just like I said before. But then I thought, okay, never mind. 2019, I made a decision. I am leaving. So I left. So I left this event management company where I got a lot of experience, sometimes per day, 3-4 events, Suresh, right? I starved. Though I got a salary, I was starving. I got, gastric. I was not feeling really good. I was not active. I was just doing my job. I felt like, why are we doing this? Why are we killing ourselves just to get a buck, right? Why? And then 2019, as you know, the country was not doing well. It was in the middle of a lot of things. And I thought, okay, let's get a logo. It kind of kicked in to my whole system. I need to do something. I need to stop everything else. I was also driving a car on rent. And that 38,000 was my rent money. I gave the car and I said, I don't want the car. I'm going to retain my money. And it was only 33,000 that I paid for the registration, according to my memory. And it's a private limited company. I registered. I started. That's how. So that whole putting down and, not accepting my ideas, just dismissing me without even listening to me, it hurt me a lot. It was like just, and rejections. There were so many rejections, like not only the ideas, like, there was no one to help me when it comes to my jobs. Like in certain organizations, they say, okay, you can do it on your own. So like 2 a.m, I go to a setup, it's only me. There's no one else to help me. But the stage guys and the sound guys are there, but I need someone from the organization to help me. I used to drive like midnight, my mom is like asking, why do you have a job at this time? I said, event management is not just 8 to 5 job. It's considered, at the time. So 30 hours of no sleep, sometimes no food, coffee. I realized this is not life. There's so much into life. When I met the right people, when I started my organization, and I think when you have the right people around you, it really helps you.
For sure. That was a great answer.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we first met?
I do.
would you like to tell our audience of? But because from this extremely serious
Yeah.
professional conversation of like your vocational pursuits, I don't think people, if they don't know, I don't think they'd expect.
Yeah.
Uh,
2015 May.
yeah,
Yeah, there was when the music video. So there was a music video, and
we met on the set of a
yeah.
music video.
So 𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, I think she was the director for the video.
Yeah, and now she's done very well. She's a
Amazing.
globally renowned director, right?
I'm not in touch, so I don't know. But she was like, Nevindee, why don't you, help us with a performance? So I am also a passionate Latin American dancer. I love my dancing. I don't professionally perform anymore. I don't compete either. I just stopped competing recently. So I met her, and then she said, let's do this. And then that's how I think we first met at the set. And that was nice. I think we were shooting for many hours, right?
Yeah.
Many hours.
That was also some faraway place, right? Broken down, like
yeah.
a Valaua, like a haunted house sort of vibe we wanted.
Yeah.
So this was for a song, an original composition by the wonderful baritone, operatic singer Sanjeev Niles, who makes original music. So Sanjeev and I collaborated on an original song where our vocal styles worked well together. His operatic style and then my metal sort of style of singing. It was called Cadence of Your Tears, right?
Cadence of Your Tears, yeah.
And the music video for that, which was done by 𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃, featured in the video a dancer, a professional dancer, right?
Yeah.
All garbed, all in white, right? If
White,
I remember.
Yeah.
And that's the first time we met.
Yeah.
And we sort of hit it off and struck a friendship at that point. And I remember us talking, and you came and spoke to me about 𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗀𝗃.
𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃, yes.
As people tend to do.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, all right.
Every concert after meeting you, I think for the concert work, I think every concert, I mean, this is where I remember you guys, like Stigmata, like 𝗠𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃 was the song I heard first, and then that was it, and that just left a mark in my whole muscle memory, and I'm like, oh, this guy, Stigmata, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I know him now.
So we chatted, we struck a friendship, and then it was many years later that we started
again,
collaborating on work. On, I think, where we started to connect professionally and do work projects.
Yeah.
And the first project that we worked on, remind me if I'm right, is actually a pretty big one, right? It was a national level project. And this was a project for the Ministry of Health, the Nutritional Division, where the World Health Organization, and also UN, the United Nations, were a part.
Yeah.
And how did we sort of connect and come about? Did you reach me? Did I reach you?
No, I reached out to you.
Yeah.
I said, since I saw your work on your social media, I was like, okay, let's talk to him. He's the guy. I didn't go around speaking to anyone. I thought, okay, because there was a part where you said you do communications work as well. And then we spoke, and you said, this is the deal, Nevindee. This is how it works with me. If you like, let's work. If not, up to you. You said that to me.
and that was the point how I had an ecosystem of people I worked with, how you were introduced to 𝗓𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃 Lab, and then we started working.
Cat Lab, yeah.
But that first pitch was mad, because I remember we discussed that we'll do some work together, and I remember that they had some kind of a massive press conference or a launch that you organized, which happened at Cinnamon. Cinnamon. It was in the ballroom, right?
Cinnamon, one of the rooms, Ivy Room or something.
Ivy Room, one of the rooms.
Yeah, Ivy Room, yeah.
And you said that I need to come in for a meeting, and that was fine.
Yeah.
But I remember quite clearly, vividly, of how I was just in torn jeans, sandals, and I think probably some kind of a 𝗓𝗲𝗃𝗃𝗃 metal t-shirt where I was going somewhere else. And I remember you calling me suddenly and saying, Suresh, where are you? Are you around Colombo? And I said, yeah, why? And you said, there's a press conference. I'll get you passes. Come, you will get a understanding of this thing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to participate. You can come and just watch this. And all the sector heads are there.
Exactly.
Government sector heads.
Yeah.
And they will be discussing the nutritional problems in the country. And the Ministry of Health will be discussing how we need to address the nutritional issues. And I thought, okay, I'll come and just sit in the back and it should be fine. And I remember coming for that thing, and you introduced me to the wonderful Visakha. Tilakaratne is it?
Yeah.
Visakha, and then some other sector heads.
Yeah.
And we sort of hit it off. And the next thing is, I don't know what happened. After lunch, Visakha just announced that there's someone here who would like to talk to all the sector heads and
I know that
maybe give a small speech on, how things need to be done differently.
Yeah.
And the next thing, I'm holding a microphone at the press conference at the cinnamon room. Not attired at all for this thing.
Yeah.
And then spoke, and I remember talking to you, thanking Visakha. And you and I made such an impression that they're upon the sector heads and the people that were there, all the stakeholders involved with this project.
Yeah.
So guys, the Island Renaissance podcast can only be a reality, and it comes alive thanks to our official sponsor, which is Skin Family Wellness Private Limited. Skin Family Wellness is a body care, therapeutic, treatment, wellness facility, state-of-the-art wellness facility that is situated in the heart of Colombo. It's opposite Bellagio Casino, number 353, R.A. Dimel, Mavata. Its hotline is 0112 575744. So make sure you check out Skin Family Wellness on all the socials, Instagram, Facebook. You can call the hotline for treatments, for bookings, inquiries, and reservations. There's everything. These guys have everything from full body massage therapies and treatments, Swedish full body, customized full body massage treatments, foot reflexology, hand reflexology, cupping, hot stone massage, and herbal steam baths. All right? So make sure you check them out. And finally, a big shout out to iFilm Sri Lanka for accommodating me and for allowing me to record and for supporting me. The wonderful team here supports with the filming and the editing of these pod interviews. So thank you.
Yeah.
It's funny because I think they were like, these people are so young. Who are they?
Yes.
I mean,
They were
tattoos
shocked.
and piercings. And I remember while I was talking, there were some other sector heads who were just staring at my torn jeans.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that. Where they were like,
And the
what is
piercing and,
what's
the
going on
tattoo.
right now? But as they say,
Yeah.
you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. And we somehow delivered. And we got the project.
Yeah.
It was a national level project, which was a huge win. And the reason I'm bringing that up, Nev, is because I owe you a lot of gratitude, which I have, and a lot of thanks, because that was a big project that helped spearhead my brand and business strategic stuff as well as Suresh wordsmith value creator. And I was doing a lot of work for local brands, and I was tapping into some overseas brands and conglomerates, but this was the game changer for me. It made a big difference because after that people started to, I think, and I feel, I'm sure in fact,
For me, it's the same too. I would say if
to
we
take
did
me a bit
not.
more seriously, right?
Yeah, because if we did not collaborate and if we did not do that project together, I don't think it would have happened the way it happened. Because if I collaborated with someone else, I think somewhere or the other we might have got stuck because of the procedures and how it works, right?
There's a
Not
lot
to
of
mention
pressure, right? There are a lot of
pressure
there
and
are a lot of
changes.
changes. There's a
Yes.
lot of how
Back
shall
and
we say
forth.
this? Back and forth, but there are a lot of obstacles for us to
Yep.
crash through and to get it done. We had good support.
Definitely.
We had a good support structure of people
Within that
also
scope,
Visakha
yeah.
and a lot of people who helped us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was a lot of pushback also, like you said. Right?
Definitely. Because see, like, let's say judging a person is something an individual can do. Okay, fine. You go ahead, do it. I wouldn't say they can't. But they shouldn't portray the judgment in their face and be like, okay, this dude has a tattoo, he has a piercing, and you sure he knows communication? That was a vibe, of course, we all got, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when they looked at you. So I'm like, Visakha, no, you know Suresh. Yeah, I'm okay. So I was so happy that she has already accepted, and she's like, this fellow can do the job. That's how she spoke, right? This person can do the job. Don't worry, guys. So she was convincing the board. She was convincing, like, don't worry, they're young, but they're talented. They can do the job. And we did it. We nailed it.
That's the thing. So
We
we
did
were
it.
like, they needed to sort of, I think, infuse some fresh perspective and to have some new blood there to kind of disrupt a lot of stuff that had been happening.
Yeah.
Right. And to do a national level project like that, that was
It's a
not
big deal.
only successful, but we created together a sustainable strategic model and a plan that I have met some of those people even recently where they still talk about it. Like when I bump into them, they're still saying, what you guys did together, I mean, we're still using, Suresh, we're still using your strategic business audit. Suresh, the work, the PR work and everything, the promotions and creatives that Good PR did and Nevindee did, we are still using some of this stuff.
Yeah.
The designs and the dietary guidelines handbook that 𝗓𝗲𝗃𝗃 designed,
yeah.
we're still using to a great degree, right?
That's great. I mean, we did a great thing together, I would say.
And it was a collaborative
Collaborative
effort.
Yeah.
And that is something I wanted to touch upon
Yeah.
because when it comes to entrepreneurship, especially in this day and age, in 2024, you can't thrive or succeed if you're not willing to connect, intertwine, and have an integrated mindset.
Yeah.
And
True.
the collaborative business model, I think, is a very important
Very important.
strategy, especially in this day and age, because we are able to actually tap into people with resources,
Yeah.
different levels of acuity, experience, skill, and know-how. And it only makes that ecosystem for that project
Yes.
much stronger, right? And more robust, and it fortifies. Like what we are able to offer the clients are so much more. This is an important thing because having also myself being from the corporate stratosphere,
Yeah.
from advertising, from marketing, event management, PR, I've been somehow involved with all these
Everything, yeah.
industries. But I've also seen how the mindsets are from a bygone era and age where they talk about being progressive in Sri Lanka, right? Like most things,
Talk a
or
lot.
all things.
Yeah.
They talk about being progressive
Yes.
while being stagnant when all they are is regressive, where they keep taking 10 steps back, trying to take one step forward,
Yep.
which is not how brands and businesses should operate and work, especially in
Correct, yeah.
2024.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That's true because see, like I do work with a couple of, let's say, you call it bygone era, no?
Bygone era.
Yeah.
Like Parana mindset
Parana
people.
mindset. Yeah, I do work with a lot of them. I mean, I'm sure they see this video. That's fine. You leave me. That's okay.
I'm just thinking while you're talking now,
Yeah.
some of these peeps are going to see this video and go...
Definitely, because I'm going to share this everywhere
and
for them to see.
They're going to be going... I say, is she talking about me?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, so
But they don't know, right?
they don't know, yeah.
They're so self-conceited and so...
Yeah. They're so consumed by their
Yeah.
ego, I would say.
Ego is one
Ego
thing.
is heavily consumed, and also the fact that a person. So I'm not saying I'm a young entrepreneur anymore. I can't call myself a young entrepreneur. Okay, I can't call. Okay, I'm
Yeah,
not saying.
Nor can I, but it sure feels good, doesn't
Yeah, it feels good. So when it comes to them, let's say no matter what, when we meet them and when we talk right in front of your face, they're like, okay, we welcome your ideas, Nevindee. All good. Put them into a whole proposal and send it across to me.
They love that, no?
Yeah, exactly. And then
Great ideas and insights.
Yeah.
Give us a proposal. And
Exactly.
We'll get back to you.
And they never get back to you. And also they say like, it's not that, we have more experience, you have to work it this way. They don't understand we have AI, we have VR, we have a lot of different technologies now in the world, where Sri Lanka is still touching upon certain technologies to incorporate with businesses. They still don't accept the fact that we can go above and beyond with whatever we have. They think it's okay, just the old way of doing things. So cutting it short, I would say it actually affected me when these guys didn't accept my ideas. But then they gave me so much of energy to kind of work more and show them my capabilities, and me posting them on my socials, and they're like, okay, you didn't do it with me, I did it on my own. So simple.
Are you at liberty to discuss some of your key projects that you have done in the last few years? I think this would benefit the people who are watching, also young boys and girls who have a knack for entrepreneurship. Maybe they have an idea or an ideology where they want to try this out, but they're afraid to leave the companies that they're working at, because you and I both know, once you're earning a buck, and companies have this way of keeping you locked in and sort of hooked and reeled in, where the moment you say that you're about to leave, they will give you a small bump up, a raise, and a small, maybe a promotion.
That's
and
how
then
it is.
Sort of still keep you there. But it's changing now. We can see this across the board, that say what we will about Gen Zs, this is a generation, the newer generation, who really don't take shit from people. And for all their pitfalls and shortcomings, and believe me, there are lots, I would say that unlike the preceding generations, we are millennials, right?
We are millennials,
and then before us, it's the boomers. And unlike our generations where we go to a place and get stuck. Like, it's true, Nev. If you think about it, people talk about an entrepreneurial mindset. But it's just words they throw out and churn out, right? What is this entrepreneurial mindset? I mean, what does it constitute? What does it mean? Does it just mean that you raise some capital and, like you said, open some social media pages and you're like, I'm now an entrepreneur. I'm a social media influencer because I have 10K followers and I'm getting like shares and tags and likes and impressions on my posts. But you meet them in real life and they're just empty husks. They have nothing of value to offer people.
Nothing to offer. That's correct. So if I just touch on these points, like, separately, if you take these people who have so-called entrepreneur mindsets but act like jokers, they don't they just portray because they have the money to buy their awards.
Nice one.
Right? They have the money to buy their awards. They have the money to go wherever they want and, book themselves a room full of jokers and make them appreciate them. Another one place I've seen. And then these awards, coming to these awards where even an international client, when I met recently, he was like, Nevindee, don't worry, people buy awards. Forbes, Vogue, whatever. You can buy anything, right? So you can basically buy any award.
Even the Oscars and the Grammys now.
Anything. Award. Yes.
Anyone who knows, right?
Exactly.
Those of us who are part of the industry.
Especially, And one of the people who I associate, she was like telling me, Nevindee, you do so much of work, but why don't you get any award? I said, you think I'm working for awards? I don't care whether they give me an award, but do you want an award? I can buy one and give you, So that is one. People who think they have the entrepreneur mindset, they don't even practice half of it. Or rather, they don't practice, or they are not entrepreneurs. What I see is when they are on Instagram, unfortunately, they open their stories, right? They keep their stories, visible for them, for others to see their luxury life. I'm wondering, okay, weekdays, you go to a pool and, you keep a glass of wine and, okay, the next day the same. I'm wondering, okay, who's working really and what's happening? And to see, it's not the real entrepreneurs.
Just smoke and mirrors. It's all show and tell, right?
Show and tell, right? That's all show and tell. And then the next part is when we really, do something, it is not appreciated. it is told, you do something, you're a female, you can get it done. That whole, you're a female, you can get it done. It's nothing is true. And you can't call me and say, okay, Nevindee is a female, no, she can get anything done. What do they think? What is their mindset? I'm an entrepreneur. I work hard. I wake
So
up.
men and women both do this?
Yeah, exactly. Men and women both do it. They put you on a spotlight and they say, you can get anything done, right? Why not? Not because portraying a wrong idea.
Oh, right. So what they're saying is because you're female, that it's easier for you to get things
it's
done.
easier.
Is that what they're saying?
Yes. I mean, they should actually live my life one day. I mean, that's what you call empathy, right? You see another person's situation through your eyes.
That's true.
Through their eyes,
That's
rather. You see it on your own, right?
Sympathy, I guess,
sympathy.
is where you feel sorry for someone. Empathy is where you see it through their eyes and try and wear their shoes and be
exactly.
where that, right?
I'm a little excited when I'm talking right now because I'm kind of like, rethinking and imagining and feeling the same things that I went through. And when all these things have happened to me, like, see, I'm not trying to act like what you call a victim. There's nothing like that. In this industry or in this world, everything will happen to you. Anything and everything possible to let you give up, let go of everything. But it's you who decide that you're going to do this. You're going to do whatever it takes to keep your business up. Similarly, when there was no business for me for some time, COVID years and all, there was a time like, nobody believed. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going. So I have done the whole real entrepreneur thing, and I am a real entrepreneur. I live, I don't sleep sometimes, I think about, okay, the salaries, the payments, the cash flow, people, what about the work? I'm wondering, why are we doing it? But then there's a little bit of a chill to it also. Yeah.
You touched upon an important topic of awards and how people look for credibility in critical acclaim. And in Sri Lanka, people love to show and not just Sri Lanka. I think this is
worldwide,
a global thing.
Yeah.
It tends to be a little bit more here because we're still a backwater pond, and people like to showcase that they're living exemplary, exorbitant lifestyles when in reality they're struggling to make ends meet, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't want to name drop, but a few months ago, even I was approached by a leading magazine in Sri Lanka where they were like, listen, we've been following your stuff on LinkedIn. You have a podcast. You're a brand and business strategist, a creative consultant. You're the stigmata guy. We saw your TEDx talk. And we want to feature you on our magazine and feature in the cover. And I remember seeing this and thinking there's a catch to this.
Yeah, of course.
So I said, DM me on the social media platform and let's talk further. Because I love the pressure of doing work. I love having to flesh out strategies and to solve problems. But what I don't like to do it where you do it and then showcase it to the world. I learned my lesson a long time ago. This is why I don't broadcast who my clients are, my overseas and local clients. I don't publicly showcase work projects. Very rarely will I show something and say, okay, this has turned out well, or we did this event, it was great, or we're at a press con right now, this went fabulously. But other than that, even on LinkedIn, I don't showcase the work. If it's a client, whether it's a B2C, B2B client or anyone, and they want to get some consultation from me, then I would share my work portfolio with them. But I don't really put the stuff online. So these guys reached out to me, and then I said, I don't think this is a good idea because I'm not doing this. I mean, sure, there is a vanity part of me, and that is the performer side of me. And I get to satisfy that part of me being on stage performing at Stigmata, or when I act and I do theater. But my work, I don't want to publicize it. I don't need people out there to know who my clients are, and I don't want to sort of shout out from the rooftops, hey, look at me, this is how well I'm doing, or I'm doing okay, right? I like to keep a low profile as far as that is concerned. But then they were like, no, we give you a center spread and you can inspire so many people. And we feel that your story needs to be told because you're not an entrepreneur like other entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And look, you're a lecturer also. And you have the hair and you're covered in tattoos. And I'm like, yeah, this is all flattery, but what's the catch? And they're like, we'll do all of this for you only for this special seasonal price of this.
That's the catch.
And with this, we'll give you the cover and the center spread. But for this price, we will give you so much more, and we'll give you an ad thrown in also. And I was like, so in a nutshell, what you guys are saying is, I'm worthy of being featured in your publication, but you want me to pay to be featured in your publication. I said, nah, no, thank you. I'm not your guy for this. And the awards thing you're talking about, I was also approached for that. And I remember showing the email to Jess and both of us laughing about it. And she's like, yeah, Baba, that's how it works. I mean, you pay for the award and, you either get a nomination, win the award. That's how it works.
So as a policy, even if I get any award, I won't accept it. That's what I've told myself, and I'm going to practice that. So no matter who approaches me with an award, I would say, I'm sorry, I can't accept it. It's not about the
But
award.
if it's I would tell you though that if it's coming from an authentic and sincere place where they're acknowledging you for your hard work, then accept it. If they want you to join like this forum or be a part of that community.
I mean, these youth organizations are 1,000 times better. They appreciate you. They send you, they give you an award, those small, nice, very handy awards. They say, okay, miss, we appreciate your work. I take those. I mean, that's fine. I mean, they appreciate our real work. These youth people.
And it's not really whether it's gold or silver or
Doesn't
a fancy
matter,
award, right?
Yeah.
It's just a token of appreciation. And like you said, even without an award, even if it's not a voucher, gift voucher or something, the gratitude is what is mostly that value.
Yeah.
And that experience, I think, is why we finally
It's
do
important.
it, right? To see the project become a success.
Yes.
And then to see that the client is actually happy. That's why we do what we do, right? It's not the whole award game.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about the Island Dancer. You said that, and we know you're a professional ballroom and Latin both?
Latin dancer.
And you have participated, you've done competitions, you've done all of that.
Yep.
And now you're sort of taking a back seat, but it has been your dream and it has been your brainchild to create something called the Island Dancer. Tell us what the Island Dancer is for those who don't know. Talk to us about the magazine and stuff that you have in the pipeline. Because recently I heard that you've achieved some amazing things where there's some big public personalities that have agreed to be a part of the magazine.
Yeah.
So please.
So Island Dancer is actually a dance platform where we interview, where we get dancers around the world, Sri Lankan dancers also, to go abroad and, make their mark. So we want to create that pathway and platform. It is a space with information.
Traditional and contemporary dance both?
Everything. It's not only Latin. So we want to incorporate Kathak, these traditional dancing and ballet to Latin to everything. So I don't segment it to one area. It is a lot of work. We need a lot of funds to make a magazine. So that is kind of on hold at the moment because we can't really, as we initially started it, right? I would say the brains behind the magazine is also right next to me, Suresh. So we discussed about all these things, and then it was on hold because we didn't have funds to continue it. And all in all, it's a passionate project, and you need funds still to do the work. What I believe is when you have to get something done through even your colleague or friend or whoever, you can't get it done for free. You have to value their time. You have to appreciate what they're giving. Because recently, I think yesterday or day before, I posted a story on a status on Facebook saying, so many people don't have souls. They just take, so many people don't have souls. They take advantage out of the kindness you do, right? You give. So I kind of felt it like that, you know. I mean, I just posted it because I felt it. So just like that, I thought, okay, I'll take a little bit of a backseat in terms of performances because it doesn't help me with my schedule. And running a business, doing my master's, doing the island dancer, working as an entrepreneur, it's not helping me, you know. You have to sacrifice something. So unfortunately, I had to say goodbye to competing and dancing professionally. But I'm learning on a regular basis. And then this platform, Island Dancer, is going to be dedicated for the dancers in Sri Lanka. We also want to bring in nutritionists, maybe fitness personalities. So far we have interviewed world champions. I mean, without any issues, they just say yes. But just to get a Sri Lankan guest, sometimes I had to go left and right. I'm like, can I get a time? So imagine the difference between foreigners and Sri Lankans. I mean, why do these guys have so much
That's also
ego.
a level of professionalism.
Exactly. So I'm not really worried about saying this out loud because when I approached Joanna Linuez, a world champion, Latin American 8 to 9 time world champion, she said, all right, Nevindee, let's do it when I'm available, but let me give you a time slot.
Right.
That's it. She didn't question me and say, okay, you have to, you know, let me know who it is. She was supposed to be my first guest. But unfortunately, because she was judging a world champion event, she had to postpone the timing, which I understand. She's a world champion, a former world champion, and I do understand her part. Then I got another champion, another international guest. So I understood the difference and I understand how it works now. So it is happening slowly and steadily, and I've interviewed some fantastic and fabulous dancers from Sri Lanka, choreographers, makeup artists. Now we have some people like stylists, nutritionists in the pipeline. So I'm just taking a little bit of a break because of my master's, because I'm doing everything on my own, and also a few of my staff or the team members supporting me. And it's not easy. So you have to sacrifice your time for everything, right? So you understand because you wear so many hats and I wear so many hats too. So Island Dancer is going to be dedicated for dancers in Sri Lanka and dancers around the world. And we are hoping to do this magazine. It might be an online magazine or a print, depending on the funds and the situation. And we are also trying to take Sri Lankan dancers abroad so that they can compete. They can really fight with the international dancers. And we want to show that there's so much of talent here. They're not just going to sit in these Sri Lankan floors. They're also going to go abroad. And we're going to bring international talent to Sri Lanka to show them you can fight with our people. Why not?
How has dancing, or the discipline that dancing has imbued or instilled in you, right? I understand this because you and I both know this, that I dated a lady once that was also heavily involved in the Sri Lankan dancing.
Yes.
So one thing is I used to always admire and see how much of work it takes.
Yeah.
Like even with us as performers, Stigmata, people don't understand that it's not just a performance. It's not something that is just preordained or choreographed. There's so much more. You're caught up in the moment. You have to figure out the do's and don'ts spontaneously on stage. And when you perform for different audiences, there are different expectations that you have to manage, and you have to win people over, right? It's the same for you guys, especially when you're competing. So how has that journey as a dancer informed or inspired your professional life?
I'll start here very quickly. I'll just, I know it's a long story, so I'm going to try to make it short as possible. So at the age of, I think, 4 or 5, my father took me to this dance class, 𝗡𝗲𝗃𝗶𝗃𝗲𝗃's Performing Arts Academy. So I did study traditional dancing first as a dancer. That's how I saw. And then all this dancing happened when my mom, when she was pregnant and when she was, before delivering me, she was like watching all these Olympics, the skating, the dance skating or the gymnastics. And she was like, okay, this, she should be a dancer. And then my father eventually took me to this dance class. So
you're the oldest, right?
I'm the oldest.
Okay.
But I'm the only one who continued dancing for 23 years as well.
All right.
not my siblings.
Okay.
So then I started there. I started loving dancing at the age of 7 or 8, I guess, because
Okay.
I felt the music. I felt it's, in my body. I don't know, for some reason, my parents are not dancers at all. I'm just thinking. And then towards the latter part, like 15 years ago, I saw this Latin American poster on a bus when I was traveling by bus. And it said, okay, this is the school, 𝗡𝗲𝗃𝗃 School of Dancing. Mr. Sirivardhan is my instructor. I met him and I started hip hop. And he was like, here, not hip hop, you need to do Latin. So he knew what I was good at and how my body worked. And he was like, do Latin. So I started with cha-cha, jive, salsa and all these things. And then eventually I got into this. So dancing so far has helped me physically, mentally, in every possible way, I would say. Because it's not just a form of art. It is a form of relief.
Yes.
It is a form of taking everything away. And that's how I explain this to people. So when I play music and when I dance and when my husband looks like, okay, what is she up to? What is she doing right now? I mean, is she okay? He doesn't know that I'm connecting with the music and I'm trying to relieve or really, just relax myself. It helps me. And if I don't dance, I feel sick. Like I get like, okay, my body's not doing well. I need to go dance.
So
right?
that's how you all the pent up stuff that you have.
Yeah.
That's your release.
It takes everything away from me, and
Also-
it is healthy.
That's what I was just trying to say. Actually,
Yeah, it
like
is healthy.
you need for us to be able to do what we do efficiently,
Yeah.
proactively, proficiently, and resourcefully and productively.
Yeah.
We have to be not just mentally fit, but we also have to be emotionally healthy and physically fit, right?
True. Before my masters, I did 150 hours of dance practice per month for my competition, like my last competition. So
How many hours?
150 hours. I kept dancing, just to, for a competition, especially if you're competing, you
Alone or with the dance partner?
dance partner and also alone as well.
Okay.
So mostly we dance at the class. So sometimes I dance alone at my premises. That kind of sacrifice I had to give. So it was not draining me at all. That 150 hours was amazing. It was for something I loved. Just like you're passionate about your entrepreneurship. If you don't love something, you can't do it. The moment I feel like there are so many dishes in the kitchen and I look at it like, okay, I just want to stop everything, I start loving it. When I start loving the whole part, I keep doing the dishes like I love the dishes. Imagine, I have to change my mentality. I've done that for real. Even today morning when I was trying to do the dishes, I was like, he has left me all the dishes. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. I love it. I just did it. So it didn't kill me, but I did the task.
So you're talking about being in love with the process.
Yeah.
You have to be in love with the thing that you're vested in or the thing that you're involved in or that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
But you're also saying that it's important to appreciate and value the process of anything. And that if you love and value the process, then you can actually have a favorable outcome.
Very true.
Where it doesn't feel like you're doing a chore, it doesn't feel like
No, nothing.
you're forced to do, you're coerced, or you're doing it out of sheer obligation, right?
No.
So applying that mindset, now that's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, because that, in a nutshell,
Yeah.
is a huge part and parcel of the entrepreneurial mindset.
It is.
That sometimes there are really big fish in the pond, or the proverbial sea, who call themselves entrepreneurs in this country, but they're not able to, if you ask them to dissect and to explain this thing and to describe it, they will not describe it like this.
They
Because
can't.
like you said, maybe their journey and trajectory has been different,
Yep.
but when your trajectory and your professional journey and your arc, you've seen great slumps, pitfalls, you've seen ups and downs. When you faced a lot of tragedy and catastrophe in life, once life keeps knocking you off your feet and you keep getting back on your feet, you actually start to get better at what you do.
Yeah.
Because I have a saying, right? The more you do something, you become good at it.
Definitely.
But the more you start to do things with more focus and discipline, and when you start to do things well, that is how you become great at it.
Yes.
So the only way to learn is to sort of fail, right?
Yeah.
And to learn from your mistakes.
Very true.
I know you are a hardcore animal enthusiast and a lover just like me, and that's another thing how we connected and we became good friends through the years, to the point where it's sometimes maddening for the people around us.
Yeah.
But you're very fortunate to have a husband who loves animals as much
Very
as you,
true.
as I am. Where Jess supports the fact that, and you know, I have quite a few at home. To say quite a few is an understatement, right?
Many.
And often she jokes how between having a 16-month-old, 1.5-year-old who's going berserk,
Yeah.
and she says, I have a fully grown husband also that goes berserk sometimes, and then all the cats, dogs,
Yeah.
etc. Literally, I think my wife is surrounded by animals, tamai.
Yeah.
So my question to you is this something that's always been there? Is this
yes.
something that your whole family shares and loves, or is it specific to you?
So I would say this way, right? Now, when you said you're getting this dog for Callie, you wanted Callie to grow up with the fellow, right?
Yes.
And you're a father. Just like you, my father told me, you need to love animals. That's the upbringing that I had at home, and the entire family shared it. So we had close to around 60 to 70 dogs.
How much?
60 to 70 dogs, not at once. Like they passed away throughout the span where I was living with them. And cats, now we have 12 cats, 4 dogs. My father is like, here, these are the last buggers. Please don't bring any because you're not here anymore.
I was about to say.
Right? But now I have 2 dogs. I mean,
are your siblings as
oh, they
passionate?
love.
They love?
Yes, they love. So it's like this, right? Like what my father always says, like, they are also like us. They are like humans. They are not only, you call them animals, but they are not. You can't torture them. So when few of our pets passed away, I couldn't bear it. Like all the neighborhood people, they were like, what's wrong? I'm sure someone has passed away. Because I used to hoot, cry, and like just like a person passed away. Like, I had cats like, I had Candy, I have Snowy, I can remember those pets, Dinky, to all these names, right? So they gave me so much of love, and they allowed us to love them and make us understand that, these animals, you need to also love them the way we love you. And the other part is, whenever we see a stray dog, we don't throw hot water at them or chili powder at them, where most of our local community people do.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And chase them, hit them with big, poles
Stakes,
and all.
poles,
Yeah. So I, in fact, one day removed ticks in one of the stray dogs, and my father was like, please come back home. Come back with the dog and do it at home.
I've seen you. Animals sense that, right?
Exactly.
Because I've been with you where we've gone out for either events and we've been out sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've seen how, like, the street dogs just gravitate towards you.
Exactly, yeah, they do. And Akila is like sometimes, sorry, my husband, he's like, here, can you please go? Can you please run away? The dog is coming after you. I'm like, no, that's how it is. Just let it be.
When they sense it, that there's no threat. That's
I mean,
how it is.
you really love them, right? End of the day, you love them. That's
I had an interesting incident recently at the 𝗡𝗃𝗃𝗃 in Gorakhpur, where that's the go-to because we stay in that area, right? And my wife and I patronize the place all the time. Some of the staff, they see Callie, so they know us.
Yeah.
I was there one day, and it was raining bad. This was in July. And monsoon season, it's been raining pretty sporadically and crazily, right? And this dog was already wet.
Yeah, covered with water.
And the fellow was outside the 𝗡𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, where they keep the trolleys.
Trolleys, yeah.
Fellow was smart enough. It wasn't blocking the entrance. It
Yeah.
wasn't outside
On
the
the side,
entrance.
yeah.
On the side, so it wouldn't get wet, right?
Yeah.
And a fairly good-looking fellow also. So must be from the neighborhood or a house or someone had dumped the fellow there. I had not seen the fellow before. So I was there just getting stuff. And then all of a sudden, one of the cleaning ladies there, one of those old ladies working there, right?
Yeah.
Came with the broom she was using to clean, and she started to hammer the fellow, and the fellow started to howl.
Yeah.
She kept hammering and hammering the fellow until the fellow went out. I lost my marbles at this point because the security are standing and watching.
Yeah,
The staff are all watching. One girl went and said, "Ane me auntie eme gahan nepa."
Yeah.
And then she started in front of customers, families, kids, and people are shouting. And that woman hammering the fellow is going on and saying, "How can we have this? This is a business premises. You can't have stray dogs like this." And in Sinhalese, and she's full shouting.
Yeah.
I went up to her. Before she gave the third or fourth shot, I held the broom. I took the broom from my hand and I told her, "Your job is to clean, not to beat up animals. Go back inside." And then she was shocked, and then she started to talk back at me.
Yeah.
I said, "I'm a customer. And as a paying customer here that gives you good business, and this is Sinhalese Buddhist country, right?"
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "I don't think you should be doing this. Not in front of kids, not in front. There's a way to chase an animal away from a premises if you're uncomfortable. It's not blocking the entrance. It's not causing you a problem. It hasn't come inside."
Yeah.
And now she's like, going on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
So I told the security, "Is this how you've been brought up? Is this culturally appropriate? You're just watching a..." "No, but what can we do?"
Yeah.
I said, "Okay, if that is your attitude." I went and told the manager. I called the manager. I said, "Listen, you know I'm a regular here. You know my wife is a regular here. We have no problem in not coming here anymore. We'll go somewhere else, patronize another Keels. You're going to lose a lot of business. I'll tell you that. I'm not telling you that you shouldn't chase away the dog if that's a problem with customers.
Yeah.
But what I am telling you is the manner and how she went and did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she can't talk back to customers. There's a way that she should conduct herself. There's a way that she should carry herself.
Yeah.
Right? And the manager said, "Yes, we'll warn her. We'll tell her all of that."
Yeah.
I still see her around.
Yeah.
And she always glares at me whenever I go there. But the point is, they made so much a drama saying the dog won't listen, this and that. You know what I did? I put my stuff in the cab. Right? It was raining. Maat temuna. I went back inside, bought a yogurt. I called the fellow because there's a big car parking area there. I took the fellow to another part in the car park where the fellow wouldn't get wet. Gave the fellow the yogurt. And I don't know whether he listened or not. I told the fellow to just wait there. Right? And then I headed back home. And later on, I don't know what had happened. I still see the fellow on and off, but not in that area. So maybe they chase the fellow off later.
Yeah.
But my point is, this is a common thing. We're a nation that talks about empathy and compassion and, about understanding and tolerance.
Yeah.
But if we can't have compassion and tolerance for an animal, how can we extend that to a human being? This is my point.
Yeah, true.
Right?
That's correct. They can't do it that way because they're really not who they are. I mean, for example, they're wearing masks. So that means you can't really love someone or be kind to someone if you're really not kind and loving. So even that lady, probably she must be having so much of stress and pressure, and she's a cleaning lady and all these things. But we don't treat her in that manner. We treat her as a human being, right? We don't go and take another broom and hit her just because, she's making mistakes. But she does it for that animal, and we have to accept that. And the worst part in any country, or in this country particularly, is that for anything and everything, people take the phone and video rather than saving or doing something or taking action for that situation.
That drives me mad.
That drives me mad as well.
We see this around the world, right?
Exactly.
Where you see people fighting or people...
They take videos.
People trying to harm themselves, jumping off bridges and stuff.
Yeah.
Why are you videoing, man?
Yeah.
Go and help the person.
That's the most important thing for us. Like, for example, I think I saw a recent video on Facebook where a big snake or a python is trying to, gulp or, eat this dog. And this guy had an opportunity to save that dog. And he did not do it. Instead, he took a picture. Just like there's this famous, I can't remember the photographer. He let the little kid
The starving kid in
the
Africa, you're
starving
talking
kid.
that famous
Exactly.
picture, right?
So what happened to him? He was guilty and he died, right? I don't know why he died.
He took his life.
He
committed
took his
suicide.
life. Yeah. So imagine the importance. They think importance is just taking a video, giving it to a media station and, getting some money probably. But the ultimate goal is to really, really be good and be kind and save that situation.
I would say it's the same for humans or animals, right?
Exactly.
Like, we've got so disenchanted and disconnected from each other.
Yeah.
And this is a huge, huge negative flip side of tech.
We need to
right?
put the phone away and just do something at the situation.
I believe that tech is a very useful weapon that we have to wield.
Yeah.
It's
But
in
at
our,
the same
in our
time-
arsenal. But at the same time, people
It's the
need
worst
to
gadget.
really... But I don't think we can blame tech for that.
No,
I
we
think
can't.
though all it does is bring out the true human qualities. Because those people may probably not help anyway,
Yeah.
right?
That's it.
Yeah. So, Nev, thank you for being here. We've had a great,
A long chat,
long chat. We've reached the end of the podcast. And if you know how we wrap up the podcast, we have a series of rapid fire questions.
Dangerous.
So-
Don't put me in trouble.
I will try. But what you need to do is, you
Yeah.
can't think too much, okay?
Okay. Oh,
I need you like off the top of your head because then only we
It's
know
rapid
it's an
fire.
authentic,
Yeah.
it's an authentic answer. Like some people you say rapid fire and then
They
you're like,
think.
and then you're like, okay, any time now. Just maybe go home and send me an email with the answers, right? It hasn't been that bad. Most of the guests have been wonderful with the rapid fires, right?
Okay, let's
so,
try.
ready?
Yeah.
Good to go?
Yeah.
Right. What's your favorite book?
I would say it's silly to say.
Nothing is silly in this.
I like Harry Potter,
That's right.
the series.
The entire series?
Not the entire series. Goblet of Fire. Is
Oh
it?
yeah, that's
Yeah.
if I had to pick one Harry Potter book,
Yeah.
that's kick-ass.
Yeah.
Goblet of Fire is
Yeah,
my go-to
That's
as well.
something. Yeah.
But if you had to pick one book that changed your life, what is it? Would you also say Harry
Yeah,
Potter?
no, not Harry Potter. It was Robin Sharma, but I can't remember the title because he kind of inspired me to kind of, these what I call those
Self-help books, sort of.
Yeah, self-help
Okay.
books, right? So I was a fan of buying all these books, and my father was like, "Hey, do you read all these? You're buying so much from this Big Bad Wolf and all." But yeah, Robin Sharma's book, I think it's 5 a.m.
5 a.m. Okay.
Yeah,
I've not
5
read
a.m.
any
Yeah.
Robin Sharma.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Okay. I have to think. I have a lot, but I would say The Beautiful Mind.
Wow, good one. Great one.
Yeah.
Favorite TV series of all time?
Recently, I had one, but all time it's X-Files.
Nice one.
Yeah.
Favorite song of all time?
I would say Ronan Keating's When You Say Nothing at All.
Notting Hill one.
Yep.
Okay. If you're stuck on a desert island and you could take one music album by an artist, what would that album be?
That would be, I can't remember, those guys who cover themselves, Enigma.
Oh, wow, really?
Enigma's the other part, I can't remember them.
Enigma's other part?
No, they have a name, right?
They are called Enigma.
No, not Enigma. Something similar to Enigma. There's another band or rather another group of singers who are covered. Forest, that song. I can't remember the name of the song, but yeah, Enigma would be one
okay.
part, yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Pasta.
Favorite drink?
I would say, sorry, rapid fire is bad. I would say bubble tea.
What's your favorite alcohol?
Wine, but I don't drink hard liquor.
I know. But wine would...
Wine and there's this coffee liqueur, you call it. No?
Yeah.
This
Baileys?
Baileys.
Really?
I used to have that.
Meh. Pasta is your favorite thing to eat. But what's your favorite thing to cook at home?
Rice and curry. I cook it with love and style.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
All right, Nev. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
What you can do now is you can do a plug-in where you can give a shout out, tell people how they can reach you, be it professionally or whether to get you to come for motivational talks, maybe it's for events, maybe it's for PR or marketing stuff, how can they reach you? Tell them about your social media pages very quickly. And also, if you have any new projects that are up and coming, now's the time for you to give a shout out.
Okay, so you guys can follow me on my LinkedIn, Nevindee Amarasinghe. That's the page you can reach out. And our company website is www.𝗏𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃.com. Follow us on the pages, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's where we are mostly. And if you want to find our number, you can go on our website and reach out to us. And also, we would like to help people when it comes to PR. That's a component that we are giving for the society. To an extent. So that's there. We will help with your projects. Any person who would like to reach out and get us on board for their services. So that is that. And then, yeah, what else?
Anything new? Anything up and coming?
Anything
new projects?
Yeah, so we have a couple of projects and we are looking at volunteers plus paid volunteers. It's not volunteering per se. So we have something called Happy Volunteers. So we are actually connecting a lot of youth people to do ushering, volunteering. They can get experience from our work. We have a couple of new projects happening with a lot of Indian clients, I would say.
Happy Volunteers is yours? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Happy Volunteers is mine. That is also another
new project.
Yeah, new project. So I'd like to invite the youth to get involved in more work and to really, really understand what entrepreneurship is rather than just leaving your 8-to-5 job without not knowing anything. You need to know what you're doing. So first, I think they need to do their research.
Good stuff. Thank you. You have been an absolute inspiration and you continue to be an inspiration, Nev. Thank you for all you are, all you do.
Thank you for trusting.
Akhil and you both.
Yes. Thank you for inviting me for this show, Suresh, and also for trusting and collaborating with Good PR and myself. We wish you luck from our end. Stigmata, Island Renaissance, and Wordsmith. I can't name all your maybe projects in your companies. So wishing you all the best.
Thank you. You too. You too. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.